If you watched my last video, I had purchased a Series 2 Tech cart from Harbor Freight, and I said I had some things I wanted to do with it, what I was going to transform it into, and that's what I'm going to work on tonight. So I thought I'd share it with you. It's all in all, like I said, I really like this cart, but it's not a heavy duty cart, and that's not what I bought it for anyway. So what I plan on doing with it is I've accumulated quite a bit, not as much as I want obviously, of cordless tools, which I know a lot of you probably have too. The power that these things give nowadays is, I can do almost any project. I don't have to, especially with me not having any electric in here or anything, I can do most jobs with these pretty easily. As you can see, I really don't have any organization. I just kind of throw my tools wherever, and I have chargers out here, chargers in the house, batteries out here, batteries in the house, batteries in bags down there. Don't have any functional way to organize these or store these. So what I've decided to do is I've decided to exclusively use this cart for my cordless tools. And I'm going to make it a mobile powering station. How I'm going to do that is I bought this off Amazon, which I can put a link down in the bottom in case you want to see what it is. It's a recessed surge protector. Now they sell a magnetic surge protector at Harbor Freight, but that will protrude into the box. It's decent looking. I could put it over here, it would be out of the way maybe, but then I wouldn't be able to use my side slots here for pry bars or anything I want to put in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install this recessed surge protector. I'm going to install it into the back here. And what I'll do is I'll just cut a square hole in this. I'll put it in, screw it in. I'll have all my chargers right here in this area. And I'll have a drawer that I can store majority of my cordless tools. And I'll also have an area to put all my different types of batteries, which I have a lot more than this, and they're just spread out everywhere. So allow me to line all my batteries up, tools here, and I also have bigger cordless tools as far as the Sawzall, the grinder. I can take and I can use the shelves on the bottom to store some of those, and I also can store my accessories for my grinder and Sawzall. Cut off wheels, grinding wheels, Sawzall blades, everything. I can store it. I have DeWalt bags that these things come in. I can put it all in there, store it down there at the bottom, and whenever I want to use this cart, it'll be mobile. I can take it wherever. I have everything in one spot. I can charge all of my batteries. I have Milwaukee and DeWalt batteries, but the only Milwaukee power tool cordless tool I have is the ratchet. But that's a decent, it's not a fuel, but it works well for what I've used it for. So I can have my chargers here, some of my batteries charging. They can plug into the surge protector. Now the surge protector also has a couple of USB plugs too, so I can charge my phone, charge anything, charge a laptop at some point. I'll eventually get a shelf, a side tray over here, and I can use a laptop or anything else I want to do. This will be a mobile power station for anything. Speakers, anything I want to put in here, I'll use it for. So what we're going to do tonight is I'm just going to install this and organize all my tools. I'll start off by positioning this where I'm going to want it at. So I would prefer to have it on the side, out of the way, or over here would be really nice, but there's no room for it over here. So what I also don't want to have as many cords stretched across here, so I decided I'm just going to position it directly in the middle. So I'm going to start off, I'm going to figure out what position. This cord back here makes it hard for me to stick this up here. I could trace around this. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some measurements. I'm going to measure this and I'm going to measure this, and I'm going to use this level to mark my holes, and I'm going to center it perfectly. So we'll start off by taking a few measurements here. It's looking like 7 1/4 long by 1 3/4 inches tall. So now that I have my measurements, let me go ahead and figure out where I'm going to center this. I've got 11 1/2 from here to here. So 11 1/2 from here to here. I got 6 inches tall. I did some quick measurements, and what I did was I just measured the face plate here and in between here, and I've tried to center this as close as I possibly can. And I'm not going to bore you with all the math, but we should have come 2 1/16 from here. Two and a 16th from here, and inch and 5/8 from here. Get it. Inch and 5/8 from here. Now that I got my marks here, this is where I'm going to cut out. Now, with the math I've done, you can visualize it here. This is all I got to do now is just, I'm going to use these lines here, and that's where it's going to sit. And that there should be perfectly center. By the time it's all said and done, once I set it in there, it'll be set perfect. Now, this is what I'm going to use this level for, to make sure my lines are straight. So, all I'm going to do is put it on here, and make sure that bubble is in between the lines. Now, with this being so small, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Dremel to cut it out. So before I start cutting though, I'm going to double check my measurements. I'm going to measure this box, and I'm going to make sure that it's the same size as what I need to cut out. I'm only going to get one shot at this. I'd rather for it to be a little tight than big. So we're looking at, needs to be 7 1/4 long. So right there, 7 1/4. So I need to come from the inside of this line, and it needs to be 1 3/4 inches tall. So right there, 1 3/4. So I'll make sure I cut down the inside of this line and the rest of it will work out fine. So let me get to cutting here. Slight change of plans. I made this cut with the Dremel and it ate my blade up pretty good. I've only got one blade left, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the grinder to cut the long cuts, and I'm just going to use the Dremel for the side. So main majority of the cut with it. We'll finish it off with the Dremel here. So there's the piece out. Now what I'm gonna do is just gonna hook up this flat disc and just gonna clean this up, and then I'll test fit it and I'll see if I need to remove any more material, and I'll remove everything from here on out using this. There it is. It's in there now. Oh yeah. Now, if you look at the back that I have it in there, this protrudes out pretty good. Protrudes out the back pretty good. So I could leave that, but also I'm going to have my cord, it'll be just hanging right there. So what I actually did is when I ordered this, I made something at work and I didn't have it, so I just went off the measurements of it, but I made this piece at work. It's not the best quality in the world, but I made it with a vise. I just bent it, cut it, bent it over and over again, beat it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tie the cord up like this. And it's actually gonna sit inside this. And this will cover this. But I have to cut a notch out. I didn't know where it was going to be here. All I got to do is just cut a notch off these lips right here, and it'll slide right over top of that, and I'll put it wherever I want it, and I'll just drill a couple holes on both sides, and I'll just come in through the front. What I have is I just got some flathead M6 Allen bolts, black already, so they'll blend in with the front. And I'm going to paint that piece that I got. I'm going to paint it black, hit it with some clear coat. Hit it with some clear coat. Now I'm going to screw this in too. I really don't need to. It feels so tight that it ain't going to go anywhere, but just in case, I'll screw it in. Now I did get into it a little here, but I'll fix that. I'll touch that up with some paint, some clear coat. You won't be able to tell the difference. But if I clean it up and set it up, then It's going to be a perfect mobile charging station and cordless tool station. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop right there for now, and when I put this back on, we'll come back, show you. I'll cut this notch out, we'll put this on, we'll put all our bolts on, and we'll set the cart up. And I may do a few other modifications to it. Matter of fact, what I'll do is I'll do a part 2 on this, and we'll do the rest of the modifications. I'll load this up. So thanks for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Tell me if you like this. If you do like it, hit me with a thumbs up. If you don't, hit me with a thumbs down or move on. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, you know when part 2 is coming up, and I appreciate you guys watching.